here. I'm going to share with you today my top tip for finding a new barn. My top tip for finding a new barn is to do a walkthrough and let the horses tell you the story of how life is there. Today, I'm going to break the walkthrough down into 4 parts so you can make sure that you are looking for the right things. The most important thing for me when picking out a new home for my horse is determining if the care at the barn is going to be good. Or maybe I'm at a barn and having doubts about the overall condition and care of the horses that are currently there. In addition to helping you see what to look for, at the end of this video, I'm going to give you the reverse perspective of some things to look for that may determine not the best care. People sometimes like to just do a surprise visit, and I understand that you want to make sure no one is hiding something from you, but I'm going to teach you how to look for answers to eliminate your need to do that, because knowing what to look for should give you all the answers you need. I've broken this down into 4 parts. Number 1, first impression. As you enter the barn and walk down the aisle, what is your first impression? Is it clean? Is it organized? And not to be too woo-woo, but does it have a good energy and give you a good feeling? Now, I'm not talking about fancy high-end stuff. I've seen plenty of older barns with dirt aisles that are not heated and have minimum amenities that are very well cared for, tidy, and relay a sense of pride. You can feel that, and you can see it in the animals. Go with your gut on this. Number 2, priorities. We all have our list of priorities. So if you ride a specific discipline and footing is a high priority for you, then make sure the footing in the ring is good and does it look maintained. If your horse is a pig and needs lots of bedding, then make sure the stalls are cleaned properly and the bedding suits your situation. If you need a lot of turnout, then that should be available, safe, and suitable. Don't judge too hard on how someone runs their barn, but just decide if it will be suitable for your needs. If it's not and they can't accommodate them, that's okay. There are lots of options and we all do it differently. No right or wrong, just different levels and priorities for the customer and for the owner. Number 3, the horses don't lie. Just look at the horses and let them tell you the story. Take a really good look. If they are pasture kept, is their weight good? Are they stressed? Are the footing conditions appropriate for the season? Is there enough space for the number of horses there? If they are stall kept, are they clean? Are they content? Are they eating? Now I know several managers just hit the comments saying, well, that owner never comes out. I know, and it's the same in my barn. Some owners don't even live in the same state. But if the bedding and conditions are clean, the feed is of good quality, and the management is good enough to let owners know when additional care and services need to be done, then those horses will still have a look of quality care that you can see regardless. What horse owners should know and expect of their managers is if you signed up to manage a barn, then you signed up to be an advocate for all, whether the owner is there or not. Number 4, look for patterns. As you walk down the aisle, the main thing you are looking for is consistency. Depending on the time of day, are the stalls clean? And do they look like they've been cleaned in recent history? What do the horses' weight and coat look like? How are their attitudes? Do the majority look content? Or is everyone pacing, screaming, kicking, and biting the bars? Is there food in the stalls? Does the food look like it's good quality? You are taking mental inventory of the majority and averaging it in your mind. It's also okay to ask. If you see one significantly underweight, you can ask, is he a hard keeper? If your tour guide thinks he's a good weight and offers no explanation, then you may have a problem. Now for me, as the manager giving a tour, if a horse obviously doesn't look or act right, I'm offering an explanation before I'm even asked, so you know what my reasons and expectations of care are up front. Now it's time for the walkthrough. So let's do the walkthrough, and I'm going to talk out loud as I walk through the barn and we look at some horses. I'm going to walk through 3 times, same aisle. I'm using a random aisle of horses in my barn that are all in a row on a random day at feeding time. The first walk through, I'm going to give you my initial thoughts and what you should notice and look for. My second walk through, I'm going to share breeds and ages, which is info you wouldn't normally have, but to prove that regardless of breed, age, activity, or owner attention, that you should be able to recognize a pattern of consistency. The third walk through, I'm going to give you what ifs. That could be things you might see that you need to ask questions about. Okay, we're going to take a look and I'm going to show you what I notice. Okay, this horse, sure, he's got some manure on his side, but overall, I can see some shine to his coat. He's clean. This one's super shiny. Weight is good. Picked her head up. I'm noticing the hay in these stalls. It looks really nice quality. It's another horse, good weight. Also, I'm watching the bedding. Looks clean, looks bright, looks like it's the appropriate depth. I'm seeing a variety of horses here. Overall weight and condition and body score would be very consistent. I'm also noticing everybody's attitudes. They look bright, they look relaxed, they look happy to see me, and that can vary from horse to horse, but everybody's very content here. Nobody's surprised, nobody's jumping to the back of their stalls. They're all kind of doing their own thing, but I get a good feeling when I walk through here. Very, very consistent. Everybody's got an appropriate amount of hay. Again, coat, weight, basic necessities here are obviously met. Okay, now I'm going to give you just some facts about what we have here. This is an 18-hand draft horse, formerly a rescue. I believe him to be a teenager. It's another teenager, Clydesdale, also was a rescue. This is a gaited horse, mid-teens. Here's another gaited horse, mid-teens, gelding. This is a yearling, gelding. Here is a 5 or 6 year old pleasure horse, paint horse. This one is late 20s, retired show horse. This is a working ranch type horse. So you're seeing a lot of different styles here, but consistency and body score. Sorry, this one is a blanket. He's a teenager. This is a barrel horse, quarter horse bred, mare. It's another mare, barrel horse, late teens, early 20s. This is a early 20s paint horse. Here's an Arabian gelding. This is a half POA, half Arabian. And this is a horse early 30s. Okay, now we're going to take our final walkthrough, and this time I'm going to show you what I would not want to see. So I would not want to see horses that are significantly underweight. I wouldn't want to see like a bloody open wound or something that looked like it happened and nobody noticed. I wouldn't want to see no feed in the stalls or poor quality feed. I wouldn't want to see stalls that look like they haven't been picked in at least 24 hours. I wouldn't want to see stalls that are extremely wet, horses with manure burns on them. Any horse can be dirty, but when they have to lay in extreme dirt all the time, they're going to get burns from the manure and stains. I wouldn't want to see poor expression. So any horse can be a little food aggressive or, not be the friendliest sort. But if every horse is ears pinned, pacing the stall, charging the stall, pawing, I'd also not want to see stalls that are in poor repair. Okay, guys, so wrapping it up, as you're doing your walkthrough, look at the condition of the horses. Is that the condition that you'd want your horse in? Look at the conditions of the horses. Are those the conditions that you'd like your horse to live in? Look at the hay. Does it look like something that you would pick for your horse to eat? The quantity and the quality. Look at the bedding. Does it make you feel good knowing that the stall's clean and the bedding looks good to you? Or does it make you question the care? Anything that you have a question about as you're walking through, you should ask. And ask with an attitude of curiosity versus judgment, and just listen to the answers. You may agree, you may disagree, but you can respect a responsible answer even if it's not the way you do it. When I'm giving my tour, I tell people, if you like the way things look, it's not going to change. If you don't like the way things look, it's not going to change. We pride ourselves on consistency, number one. Now, that's not saying If you have special requests or special needs, we may be able to accommodate that. That's something we want to have a discussion about, and we will charge accordingly. But if how things are in the barn directly conflicts with your values about how an animal should be cared for, then that's not going to be a good fit. And there is no way that you are going to make that work and feel good about that. So, like what you like and find the best fit going forward. Thanks, guys.